Hey y'all, it's Andrew Reed with Mossy Creek Mushrooms, and before we get into it, I just want to make a couple of quick announcements. Number one, we have something really cool that has gone live on the website. This is a liquid culture flow key, is what Samantha calls it, because it's the go with the flow key. It's just a syringe key. It's made to make taking your syringe caps off a lot easier. You know how sometimes it's hard on your hands. I got the inspiration for mine primarily from Mycelium Emporium. He's got somebody who 3D prints his and manufactures. But I thought, I really like the circular design a little bit better. It's a little easier on the hand. And our laser engraver does a really good job of cutting these out. So we got other designs that we're going to do as well. But for now, we're just going with our go with the flow key. The Triskel is our symbol that we use a lot for just signifying movement and flow. Makes life a lot easier. I will say that from now on, anytime anyone orders a bulk pack, they get a syringe key in their order. And beyond that, of course, they're available for order just on their own. So it's made out of acrylic, really easy to clean, takes alcohol easily. I know alcohol is a little rough on acrylic sometimes, but, these things are going to last for a good while. Now, another thing is we have a new oyster mushroom on the website called the Maple Arch Oyster. You guys got to see it in the last video that we did called the Grow Room Management video. Those on that rack are the Maple Arch Oyster. They've got a video in progress on those that's going to come out in the future, but for now, it's a great mushroom. It's a wild mushroom found on the Maple Arch Trail at Panther Creek State Park. It is seafoody, maybe a little even fishy. Like, it is very, very seafood flavored. Goes really well in like a fish stew or a chowder, I think. This thing is going to be perfect for soup season as it comes on, but I think that it's going to be even good if, like, I do a summer dish. It's a tilapia, roasted red peppers, and onions, and I am totally going to throw this Maple Arch in there with them. So, guys, check that out. Of course, I will have the video coming out soon. Now, today, a little backstory on the video. One day, I was right when we first moved in here to the warehouse, and I don't know if you guys remember, but when we did that, we lost pretty much our entire crew from before because of the COVID pandemic stuff. Almost said what I really felt, but that really stalled a lot of things out because we signed for the lease here, and then it was like a week or two later, everything closed down. So sitting at the shop making lids before we had the shortages, which, by the way, another announcement I guess I should make, lids are now back in stock on the website. So if anybody wants liquid culture lids, we are selling those again. It is the metal manufacturer ones, the ones that I appreciate so much more. I hate those plastic ones. I hate the ones with the silicone rings. These just work so much better. That said, one day I'm in the shop and I'm making lids, and I have made maybe 100 of them, and I have another 100 to go because we were selling a lot of lids back then. And before that, I had pulled about 186 syringes that day that I had pulled, and I was just sitting in the shop like this. I was just, oh my gosh, I was just sitting there going, my hands hurt so bad. Everything up and down here was hurting really, really bad. And Ben walks in, and Ben's like, Andrew, are you okay? And I just kind of look up, and I'm almost in tears at this point because I have to get these orders out, and I'm already behind, and I don't have a crew, and everything hurts. So it was a hard day. And he goes, huh, and then just walks on. And I thought, well, that's, kind of rude, but whatever. I may actually remember this a little differently than he does. But then he comes back about 15 minutes later. And let me show you what he came back with, because you may want to build one yourself. Heck, I don't know. He came back with this, right? And you're like, what is this? That is weird. Super weird. It's a press. And it's made for doing your syringe filters, which I like the syringe filter so much better. I hate micropore tape. I don't like polyfill. I don't like any of those things. I just feel like they're not as good of an option. But your self-healing injector port goes right in there, and then you would set your syringe filter right over that little hole. Seems like it wants to focus there. And then all you do, if you have a little RTV silicone around the base of that, bam. That's all it took, right? And it's just like a little snap. And all of a sudden, it was so much easier than trying to force those in by hand. I've even seen people, who are making a few, just take a pipe and a little hammer and knock it in. That seems to me like a good way to go if you're just doing a few. But if you're doing a lot, like I'm really hoping we get some people manufacturing lids from this video, because, guys, it's needed on the marketplace. Like, prices still aren't coming down on liquid culture lids. In fact, I just put mine up because of the shortages. And people are making lids, but they are not making enough of them that the prices are coming down. So they really, that needs to happen so we get more hobbyists, more everything in this industry. Now, I will say, we'll go quickly over how it's designed, because I've actually showed people on the Patreon how this is done. And it's another good reason to get on the Patreon, guys. I'm going to do a live stream tonight that is a patrons-only live stream. Well, it's Monday night, so if this video comes out Tuesday, then obviously it'll have been last night. But we do this where I get to talk to some of the hardcore fans, and we discuss things that, at a much slower pace than what I do in live streams and everywhere else. But anyways, it's just 2 1x2s, one cut shorter, one cut longer, PVC pipe, cut to length. This is 2x4 here, 2x4 here. I really don't know that there was a lot of specifics that went into this, a lot of technicality, 2 screws here. And obviously, I don't know if you can see that there is a gap. There we go. A gap so that it swings freely. And then you have 2 screws, one in each side of the PVC. None of them really tight, because you want a little bit of resistance so that it stays on its own, no matter where you put it. But not enough that it just either falls down, if it's too loose, or you can't move it, which defeats the purpose of making it easy if you do it too tight. Based on that, most of you handy people should be able to just manufacture your own if you want. This said, because I am so happy with this, and Ben has said, we've had this for 2 years now, and this thing has made so many lids. But because I was so excited about it, Ben made a limited edition, which cracks me up. It's very similar construction. I did tell Ben, his business partner Bill, and I both said that, we want a copper pipe instead of PVC, because copper just looks so much better. Especially, which it doesn't look terribly warm now in the blue light, I know. But it's very similar construction. He even put it on the lathe, made the handle nice and smooth. Everything is much smoother. It's got a clear coat on it, a pecan finish. The wood has been torched. It's just very pretty and attractive and warm. And this is now what we use to make our liquid culture lids. Same design, same, small hole here, larger hole here for the self-healing injector port, so you got plenty of movement to move that around in the jig. And then this comes down and just snaps it into place. I have tested the metal pipe and the PVC pipe version, on metal lids and on even just a bunch of experimental lids. And I will say that it makes life so much easier if you're working with experimental, or like even this one, which, you can't set down evenly, where this is flat, this has got the ring on it. So the self-healing injector ports don't sit down. You might be worried about pushing through on this. And with your hands, I've actually broken some of these plastic lids. But it has ended up being a lot easier with the press, because the press seats it in, and you can just do a quick little jerk in, and it seats in on the, maybe just seats in on the plastic, that thicker part. And of course, we've got a little bit of RTV silicone, so once it's cured, it really sticks and creates a nice seal, which we'll talk about the experimental lids some other video. That's for a different purpose. These airport lids are for your half-gallon jars, your quart jars, and your wide mouth pint jars. I don't do narrow mouth. A lot of people do. That is just not what I like to use. But the press will work on either size lid as well. That's really what I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you some, basically, what the cheapest version of construction looks like on this. Because for anyone labor is what kills you when you're manufacturing lids. And anything you can do to be ergonomic, save your hands, save your muscles, save those cramps, and make just manufacturing so much easier. I know we had the guy from James from Woody's Mushrooms. He sent me a video. He's one of the patrons, and he sent me a picture, and he was like, "Ben's a genius," and he had built one of his own. Looked very similar, and obviously was working really well for him. And it does. I know it seems so weirdly simple, and of course made out of cheap materials on this, but it has really just saved a lot. It's a quality of life thing, and it was such a quality of life change for me that I definitely wanted to share it with you guys. And we've got a lot more quality of life videos coming out, even some more technical stuff. Cheryl, our new lab tech, is going to be working with me on some videos. She's already got a couple planned for you guys that we're about to put into place, so I'm hoping one of those will be at the end of this week on Friday. But times are getting exciting, guys. Like, I can't hardly stand myself right now. I'm just so excited. So with that, y'all, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you have a different way of putting on the syringe filters that you like better, put that in. If you hate the syringe filters, you hate my lid designs, or you just hate me, let me know. And let me know why. I'll change for you. I won't change for you, but somebody might. I'm just playing. I have no idea what I'm saying. I'm so excited. And basically, I'm in my manic happiness phase right now, just in case you were wondering. So I'm sure I'll go back in my introverted phase at some point. Now, with that, y'all, keeps fun and culture.
Gosh. What to go and do?